So the recent narrative regarding Nintendo is that they are overcharging on ports of old games.
I mean, I'm really not sure how that's up for debate. They're definitely overcharging. Any other company would not get away with what Nintendo does. They charge out the butt for absolutely everything, even if that thing that they're selling you is like 10, 20 years old. Which is why it's so insulting when they go after emulation as hard as they do, because they want to eliminate all the original versions of their games so they can force you to buy them again at full price for a console that's going to be irrelevant in like a year or two. I'm not sure how this is a narrative. I thought we were all in agreement on this. Like, even if you're a Nintendo fan, I'd imagine you would agree with the idea that they are overcharging for old products.
Donkey Kong Country Returns is launching at 60, and Luigi's Mansion 2 also is launching at 60.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Country Returns came out in 2010 for the Wii, and that $60 Switch version is not a remake. It's a port. It's an HD port. And I mean, like, HD port is kind of an interesting way to word it. It was a Wii game. The Wii didn't have HD support to begin with. The fact that this game is coming to a console with HD support inherently makes it an HD port, regardless of what they actually do to the game. I just think it's funny when they say, ooh, Donkey Kong Country Returns, HD. But, like, the game could literally be completely unchanged other than the resolution, and it would still be an HD port, because the Wii didn't have HD support to begin with. But anyways, and the other one that you mentioned was Luigi's Mansion 2, a game from 2013, which is coming to the Switch. And no one's saying it's a bad thing that these games are coming to the Switch. No one's saying it's a bad thing these games are going to be graphically enhanced, because, again, they will inherently be graphically enhanced by the simple fact that they're coming to a new piece of hardware that wasn't limited to sub-HD resolution to begin with. But $60? $60 for a 14-year-old game and an 11-year-old game. That's steep. It doesn't matter who you ask. That's steep. Also, your video is 3 minutes and 11 seconds long, and I want to make two observations about that. First of all, usually when I respond to Harmon Smith, the videos I'm responding to are somewhere between 8 and 14,000 minutes long, so I guess we'll see how long I can flip this one around for. But also, 3 minutes 11 seconds, you take those two dots out, and you get 311. 311 is a good band. That's all I had to say. Moving on.
And I have to say, who cares, right?
I mean, I'd imagine Switch owners who want to play games at reasonable prices care. If you're trying to argue that it's just a narrative that these games are upcharged, which is what you said 5 seconds ago. You said it's a narrative that these games are being upcharged. It's kind of a weird defense to be like, yeah, well, who cares? It's like, so it's not a narrative. You agree it's not a narrative because you have no actual dismissal of it other than who cares that it's happening. If your response is who cares that it's happening, it's not a narrative, it's reality. Like, oh, wow, we're off to a phenomenal start.
These are new games for a lot of people. This isn't a big deal. This isn't some major epidemic, right?
Again, so you agree with it. Why did you call it a narrative if you're going to immediately agree that it's a real thing that's happening? That makes no sense. You're so weird.
The reality is, unlike games on other platforms, people are actually willing to pay for Nintendo games at full price.
Today I learned no one buys other games on other platforms at full price, apparently.
Because they're better than the competition.
Yeah, Nintendo games are so much better than the competition. That's why they're releasing the same game at full price a second time 10 years or more after it was released. Because Nintendo games are just so good. That's why they're selling them again instead of making more new ones. What?
You know, I was perfectly happy as a kid, saving up my meager allowance, avoiding having it stolen by my... Anyway.
That was a loaded sentence. Whoa. Imagine... Like, can we play that again?
I was perfectly happy as a kid, saving up my meager allowance, avoiding having it stolen by my... Anyway.
You just got shot back to childhood there. We watched that in real time. That was weird. What are you suppressing?
I remember having to deal with that, paying full price for Nintendo games. And you know what? I did it gladly. You know why? Because the games were better than what I would get on PlayStation, Xbox, and especially PC.
I mean, we got them for free on PC. So it's hard to argue that the games were like, oh, they're so worth the $60 and like they're so much better than what's on PC. It's like the same game is on PC for no bucks. So does the price tag add value to the game? Or does it add quality to the game? I didn't think that's how price tags worked. I thought if you put a price tag on a good product, but the price tag was too high, that like making the price tag higher than what it's worth doesn't make the product suddenly worth more. You don't get to decide that the product is worth more than the consumer is willing to pay. Am I getting too high concept for you? I'll just move on.
Like, Nintendo just dominated that entire space.
I mean, one of these games is Luigi's Mansion 2, which is from 2013, which those of us with a memory longer than a goldfish will remember is where the Wii U era was, which I think was the opposite of a Nintendo dominant era. And if Nintendo actually gave a shit about backwards compatibility nowadays, this wouldn't be an issue to begin with, but we don't talk about that, I guess. Like, Nintendo re-releases have always been kind of lame in terms of like what they're adding to the original version of the game. There's no denying that. Like when you look at games from the GameCube era that were re-released on the Wii, or games from the Wii era that were re-released on the Wii U, they often leave something to be desired when it comes to full price re-releases, but also it wasn't that big of a deal because those consoles were backwards compatible. The Switch comes along, offers very limited backwards compatibility, and a lot of that is for technical reasons. You know, the Switch is a cartridge-based system, kind of hard to have disc-based backwards compatibility, but I was always under the impression during the Switch generation that Nintendo's way of making up for making you buy the game a second time was to greatly enhance the original game. Metroid Prime Remastered? Anyone? All the Zelda re-releases and the Mario re-releases that, while overpriced based on their age, at least offer something new. Re-releasing games like Luigi's Mansion 2 and Donkey Kong Country Returns, games that were not exactly big all-time hits like Metroid Prime or, you know, Legend of Zelda. Releasing those games virtually untouched other than a resolution boost at full price, like a year or two before a new console that we don't even know if that's going to be backwards compatible or not. It's not the best look. It's really not. And all the while, Nintendo's going out of their way to shut down emulation wherever they can, because they want you to pay full price for all of their games over and over and over again. And you suckers just keep eating it up. Of course we're all going to criticize this. No other company would get away with it. Hello, I'm interrupting this video to remind you that this channel is sponsored by 4D Gaming. If you would like a really nice mousepad, go to 4dgaming.com and use code Joe for a discount. This channel is also sponsored by Glitch Energy. It's basically G Fuel, but better, so go to Glitch Energy and use code Joe for a discount. Thank you for letting me interrupt your content. I'll let you keep watching it now.
Like, why exactly would I be upset at Nintendo charging full price, right?
Because you already bought it at full price. You said it yourself. You saved up a bunch of money and went and bought this game at full price. And then Nintendo takes access to that game away from you and says to pay full price a second time. Like, why wouldn't you be upset about this? This is like objectively scummy. I thought the whole internet was on the same page about this.
And again, this isn't even like the most brazen thing they've done, right? You know.
So you agree it is brazen to some degree, though.
Tropical Freeze launched at a higher price point than it originally launched at, right?
I mean, if you want to take inflation into account, then these games are definitely launching at higher prices than they launched at originally as well.
And again, like, I think back to that moment, you know, Tropical Freeze, where Nintendo threw you a bone, where you were just like, I don't want to pay $60 for a meager, little, irrelevant 2D platforming series, completely ignoring the fact that Donkey Kong is one of the biggest IPs that Nintendo has. But, like,
I mean, yeah, it's kind of a hard sell. It's a hard sell. You say it yourself, it was a hard sell back when Tropical Freeze was re-released. I completely forgot Tropical Freeze was re-released at all. It was a hard sell then. It's an even harder sell now.
You know, Nintendo was just like, okay, we'll release it for $50. What happened? Nobody cared. Nobody appreciated them for it. Nobody said thank you, Nintendo. Nobody cared, right?
Why would I say thank you to the corporation? Thank you, corporation, for the product. Like, what? But also, oh my god, you're agreeing that $50 was a price point that should have gotten a thank you. And now here they come with $60, and you're like, what's the problem? You just described the problem. What?
And that's kind of my mindset when I look at, like, what people are doing now. Like, complaining about these ports, right?
Oh, so they're ports. I thought they were remasters.
Like, you're not supporting Nintendo Switch Online. You didn't support the Virtual Console. So, like, why exactly are you getting upset at these ports? Especially stuff like Return to Dreamland Deluxe that add quite a lot
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what that is. Oh, Return to Dreamland Deluxe. I legitimately have no idea what that is.
to the original version of the game, right? Like, again, I am perfectly happy paying full price because $60 isn't that much. $70 isn't that much.
Oh, goody. I love this. I love this. Make the games more expensive. It's not that much. Oh, it's not that much. The games aren't that expensive. Thank you, Nintendo. $60 games, $70 games on an underpowered game console from 2017 that's going to be replaced in like a year or two, apparently. Oh my god. Like, Nintendo, before their presentations, before their Nintendo Directs, they now have to just openly say that they're not talking about the new hardware. That's how close the new hardware is. And they're still selling you full-priced ports on this thing. It's so backwards. Stop supporting it. If you stop supporting it, the games get cheaper. It's that easy. Wait 5 minutes and then buy it used at a discount if it really matters that much to you that you gotta play it as soon as possible.
You know, I could buy a brand new Nintendo console tomorrow if I really wanted to.
This guy's just rolling in dosh. I got all these dollars.
Right? Like, again, how exactly are you so poor that you can't afford $60 for a video game?
Well, I just found the title of this video. I wasn't sure what I was going to title this one. I had a few working titles, but, well, no, I think I've just figured it out.
Like $30 extra, like, than what you think the game should be.
Okay, so $60 is $30 more than what it should be, meaning it should be $30. So, by your logic, people are upset because Nintendo is charging double what they are willing to pay for this, and you can't see the problem with that. You can't see it. What a nice guy you are. What a nice level-headed brain you have.
Like, again, this is the reality of this. You know, I remember people complaining about Earthbound being like $10 on the Wii U eShop. Like, these people would not be satisfied unless Nintendo was giving it away for free.
I mean, in a way, they are on the PC. Ayo.
Right, is the long and short of it. So, yeah, Nintendo shouldn't respect these people. They shouldn't listen to them. They should release all of their products at full price and make those sales and make money.
Man. That's I'm sitting at my desk thinking about how to respond to that. I have a Freddy Krueger bobblehead on my shelf that I'm just kind of staring at. The window's open, so his head's kind of just like going back and forth a little bit. Man, I don't know what to say about that. I'm at a loss. Is this a loss? Deceased. God. So I can't. I don't think I can come up with an outro. So you guys come up with an outro down in the comments section, okay? We'll finish this video together. You come up with your own video outro and write it down in the comments section, and then upvote your favorite Joe from Seattle video outro, and we'll make a oh god, I hate this. Toodles.